Well, a very good morning to you all and welcome to the 8th Symposium of the Social Impact of Music Making International Network. You can give a woohoo if you like. My name is Brydie-Leigh and it's my great honour to serve as the current president of SIMM and to also be the host of the 8th Symposium and a very proud member of staff here at the Queensland Conservatorium and the Creative Arts Research Institute here at Griffith University. So to those who have travelled from near and far to be with us here in the room in person, you look amazing. And we extend a very warm welcome to Meanjin and the significant Kurilpa meeting area on the banks of the mighty Maiwar River. To those who are joining online from across the world, and Emma, our online facilitator, is chatting with them now, we acknowledge your presence and we hope that you can feel our spirit connecting with you through your screens. We're honoured to have leaders from our university joining us here this morning, and I'd like to recognise Professor Scott Harrison, Professor Jerry Doherty, Professor Bernard Lanskey, and Professor Vanessa Tomlinson. And online, I recognise the leader of SIMM, our founding director, Dr. Lukas Pairon. Hi, Lukas. So this is the first time a SIMM event has been held in this part of the world. Last year, it was in a very cold but beautiful snowy London, the year before in Paris, and next year it's going back north to Copenhagen. So we wanted to make sure that this SIMM, while it's in Australia, is deeply grounded in the spirit, the wisdom and the culture of this special place. So to begin that process for us and to ground this gathering and ceremony in this country, we'd like to call on our dear Uncle Glenn Barry, an elder, a creative collaborator of ours, a remedy researcher, a teacher, an artist, a musician, to lead us in that process of acknowledging the country where we're gathered on. Now, Uncle Glenn has many superpowers, and one of them is warming up this space for us to enter, to be our authentic selves. And as he teaches us, ready to communicate with hearts, minds, and spirits, and to generously see and hear one another. So, Uncle Glenn, would you do us the honour?
Yamnindo, hello everyone, good to see you all. And those who I can't see, hello online. I guess that's people in spirit form on the interwebs. Hope you're all well. Welcome to today. As mentioned, my name is Glenn Barry. As a Gamilaroi First Nation man, I'd like to pay respects to Yagara, Jagara, Yugurpul and Turrbal peoples on the land for which we meet here today. I'd like you to tune in, bulla, or join me with your intentions and your actions about the values of these acknowledgements, of these connections, of these sharings of which way we've all come from. As a Gamilaroi freshwater fellow, these eulogies are really important to recognise we're on somebody's land and we're coming from somebody's land. And those overlapping stories, those songlines are really important to bring and share and see and observe and feel and know. So as a sign of respect, I'd like to, for you to join me for myself as Mal, as my authentic self, as I've just been so beautifully recognised, to recognise the ancestrals who have walked here and created these vibrational pathways, as I said, these songlines, and cared for and maintained these lands on the dreaming that we share and prosper from, including Father Sky, the air that we breathe in exchange for our life force, the waterways that fuel our bodies and cleanse our spirits. I'd like to pay respects to our elders who are with us in these special times, that shine and share their lived and living experiences and worldly wisdom to us so that we can come together and eulogy, this initiation, this ceremony, this time to play with these insights of our shared histories and her stories and our stories. And to the elders that are yet to step up, that includes our own non-Indigenous peoples. I'd like to pay respects to everybody here for that matter. Pay respects to your own elders who are, we are their legacy, and also we are ourselves, our future legacy when we look back in 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. So we're all part of this continuum. To all those here and online, as I said, having those connections and activations with these sustainable pathways that support and grow us all as a community, a common unity, I pay my respects. To all those who are starting out on this journey, this undata, I send big hearts or big gi and dui. Nay Ningu, Maran Yalawangu, Nawan Lee, our ancestors always watching. Yalu, till we catch up, till we feel ya, till we see ya, till we know ya, till we connect again. I'm going to play a little bit of Yadaki, so just turn your ears up a little bit, both sides. You can close your eyes if you want.
Thank you so much, Uncle Glenn. I told you he had a good superpower, and I could certainly feel the ancestors calling us. Uncle Glenn, thank you so much for such a generous and warm and beautiful acknowledgement of country. And I too echo that acknowledgement that we're on Jagera and Durable country, and pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging. Now, the symposium wouldn't be possible without the amazing support of Griffith University, and we're blessed to have such a supportive, vibrant and socially engaged creative research culture here at Griffith. And in our large group, which is a bit like a super-duper faculty of arts, education and law. And so to offer a few words of welcome to the university, it's my great pleasure to welcome Professor Scott Harrison, who is the Pro-Vice-Chancellor of Arts, Education and Law here at Griffith.
Thanks very much, Brydie, and welcome to those in the room and those online. Can I also acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which we gather, pay respects to elders past and present, extend that respect to our Indigenous colleagues joining us today. These are not words that we say in a trite or offhand way. And as Auntie Candace knows, those of us who serve on the university's Reconciliation Committee have doubled down on our commitment to reconciliation, to truth-telling and to treaty. We are delighted to welcome the social impact of music making research network to our region. Now, often when I'm asked to do these welcomes, you would have noticed me look down to make sure I got the name right. I don't know how many of these I do in an average week, so sometimes it is insert name of conference here. This is not one of those cases. This is in fact a conference that I'm very pleased to be representing the university at. At Griffith and in Arts, Education and Law, we are committed to values-led research, to values-led learning and teaching, to values-led engagement. We want to make a positive contribution to society, and we have already a strong track record in arts and social justice research. I was just saying to Brydie earlier, looking through the program, because she said in the notes to me, Scott, you should look through the program and make a comment about what's in the program. So I did as I was told. I looked through the program and I was genuinely overwhelmed at the breadth and the scope of the activities that you're going to hear about in the next couple of days. I say you're going to hear about because regrettably I won't be able to stay, even though it's one of those occasions where, actually it's one of the many occasions where I'd much rather not be sitting in a very long meeting for the rest of the day and be here engaging with each and every one of you. So please do accept my apologies in advance for my exit and know that I am genuinely sorry not to be here. When I looked at the aspects of politics, the aspects of doing ethical work in this space, and the role particularly of higher music education in generating social change, again, just overwhelmed at the sorts of things that you're going to have the opportunity to talk about over these next couple of days. I wanted to extend my thanks to my colleagues, to Bernard and to Vanessa, for your hospitality in hosting this activity. We are really fortunate to have a vibrant conservatorium and a vibrant creative arts research institute, and thank you both for your leadership of those entities. These sorts of activities would not be possible without the leaders that we have in these elements of the university. I wanted, and this bit wasn't in my notes, sorry Brydie, I wanted to acknowledge your leadership, Brydie. We are fortunate to have you in our midst for your leadership, not just of this activity, but of all the things you do for us. So thank you. Enjoy the next couple of days together, and with that, I'll throw back to you, Brydie. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Scott, for those warm words and for your support that you continue to give to this kind of research that we do. We're also, as Scott said, very grateful that we're able to hold this event at the Conservatorium. This is an amazing house of music with incredible staff who have all played a significant role in the front and back of house, as well as the online presentations and making sure that everyone online feels part of this. We also have an incredible cohort of research students who are literally involved in every single aspect of this symposium. So to welcome you to the Conservatorium building now, I'm delighted to invite our Conservatorium Director, Professor Bernard Lanskey.
Thank you, Brydie, and welcome everyone to the Conservatorium and to the 8th Symposium. It's a very timely event for us. Conservatoriums maybe over the last 100 years have sometimes lost the reason there is music, there is art, and it has to be for the social impact that it makes. It's becoming much more resonant in our community. I've just come back from the European Association of Conservatoires, who are looking at artists as who make music in society as one of their core drivers. So I think it's a global driver for us. I'm very proud to be leading an organisation that for the last decade or more has been at the forefront of the messaging of that, and want to acknowledge Brydie, even as I go along the front here, just to acknowledge everybody who is in our midst, the faculty, the students who've been drawn to that faculty, and the messaging that comes through in light of that. Thank you to Scott for your leadership in taking that forward in the past, and for your continued support for this dimension of our work as we move forward. Obviously want to acknowledge Vanessa and Jerry for the support in this area. I think CARI is an extraordinary project. It's very real that these connections are, of course, not only through music, but across all art forms and beyond. And so having CARI as part of this opportunity to connect is very real for us. Thank you also to Alexis for her work within the research in the school here. And I can see many from amongst us who will be, no doubt, making the most of these few days. You have, as Scott acknowledged, you have an extraordinary 3 days ahead. I will try to get to whatever I can, and as with Scott, would wish to have been able to give full time to being with us. It's wonderful to see so much activity, but I'm reminded every time I come into this building that it has been a gathering place for many tens of thousands of years, and it's the gathering dimension of the arts, of music. It's the social engagement that comes through our art making that has been known to the people of this land, of this ground, for a long time, and that as we seek to heal ourselves through our art, we need to pay respects to those to whom this space has belonged for so long. And I wanted to acknowledge Uncle Glenn for the reminding us of this so poetically before. Welcome to those online. Congratulations for finding alternative times and being with us right now, having just been through that for the last 3 weeks. I do understand what it's like to be elsewhere in the world, to be with us here. It's great that SIMM has recognized the power and potential of bringing this work to this side of the world. There's much to share back into the world from here as we find ourselves closest to our immediate communities. And I wanted to acknowledge that dimension of Brydie's work. Have a wonderful time. Looking forward to gathering, to connecting, to socializing, and to making impact. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bernard, for such a wonderful welcome and reminding us why we're actually here in the first place. That was brilliant. Now on South Bank here, we're very fortunate, as Bernard said, to have a vibrant research environment that connects together the strengths of our 3 creative schools through our Creative Arts Research Institute, affectionately called CARI. So without CARI's vital support, this event wouldn't be happening. So to offer a few words of welcome from CARI, I'm now very pleased to welcome our CARI Director, Professor Vanessa Tomlinson.
Thank you, and welcome everyone to the Queensland Conservatorium, to the Creative Arts Research Institute, to Griffith University, and welcome especially to all those online wherever you may be. I also want to extend thanks to Uncle Glenn for that beautiful welcome, and to really acknowledge that these lands that we're gathering on here have always been places of creativity, learning, sharing, and teaching. And I know we'll continue in that tradition today, over the next 3 days, in fact. And I am going to try and be here for as much as possible, since it's in my brief, so I can actually put aside those meetings and come. Really excited. I just wanted to give you a couple of words about what CARI is, because you may hear about it over the next few days. And it's a gathering of about 130 members, including our doctoral students, across many, many disciplines, really thinking about what making art is, how knowledge can be gained through making art, how knowledge can be shared through making art in all its diversities. So we're interested in the impact of art making, we're interested in interdisciplinarity of art making and creative thinking and creative leadership, and of course in the social impact of our art. So there could be nothing more wonderful than being here today to welcome you all to the Social Impact of Music Making Symposium. We also have great strengths in creative technologies, in art and health, in environmental justice, cultural justice, policy making. So our breadth is huge, but our values are very deep, and we try and keep that central to everything that we do. It's not really a surprise that we're gathered here today in 2023. The seeds have been planted for this for many, many years, and in fact come out of Brydie's incredible leadership of the Queensland Conservatorium Research Centre for 6 years prior to the beginning of CARI, where social justice was absolutely in the forefront of all of her leadership goals, and she really brought many of us along that journey with her. So I want to acknowledge as well the incredible leadership that has led to this moment where we're gathered, and I know we're in really, really safe hands having looked at that program, and thank you, Brydie, for all of that. There's also one other thank you that I need to give, and that's to the incredible team back at the other end of CARI, led by the manager, Louise Johnson. Thank you to her for all of the organisation. You probably all have contacted her at some point by now. Thank you to all the HDR interns, many of which are here today, and of course all those volunteers. I'm so happy that during this program you'll get to see heaps of artistic research happening. There's concerts going on, there's ways of interacting, probably in new and different ways, which we love to do here at the Conservatorium. You'll be going for sound walks and discussions, really kind of informal panel discussions. And I think the informality of the networking and the genuine reaching out to each and every one of you is what we would like you to take away with you. But also, I'd like to extend that to everyone online, and to know that even though you can't be with us today, you are very, very welcome whenever you cross our paths to come and visit and to make yourselves known to us. So an absolutely wonderful welcome to you all. I hope you have a great time. I hope that you come and say hi to me while I'm around, and good luck, Brydie. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vanessa, and we thank you again for the support of CARI. The next time you see Vanessa, she'll actually be performing in the lunchtime concert with a sound meditation, so a person of many, many talents. Last but not least, in this opening session, our SIMM director, Dr. Lukas Pairon, would like to welcome you all to this important gathering. Now, Lukas is in Belgium, but he's sent a video that Matt is going to kindly put up on screen for us in a moment. Now, for those who are familiar with SIMM, you will know the lengths that Lukas goes to for this international network. He tells me he's undertaking an experiment, and he's going to turn all his Belgian clocks to Australian time, and he's going to trick his body into thinking he is in Australia with us so that he can attend every single session for the next 3 days. He went to bed on Sunday and sent me a WhatsApp saying, "I'm going to start entering your Australian time now." So this slightly crazy plan shows just how committed Lukas is to SIMM, but also how interested he is in the program that we're offering here in Australia. So we're just going to play a brief welcome video from Lukas now.
Hello, everybody. I'm here with you, but online. I did not fly to Australia. Because of the time difference, I will nevertheless be jet-lagged. Because staying at home in Belgium, I do not want to miss anything. The program of our 8th symposium in Brisbane announces itself as so very interesting. So good that our yearly conferences are since several years organized as a hybrid format, so that we can not only welcome those who can attend in person, but also those who do not travel and to get there in person. I want to thank the Creative Arts Research Institute and the Queensland's Conservatory of Griffith University for generously organizing and hosting this conference. And special thanks also for the scientific committee with whom we could compose the program. Brydie-Leigh Bartleet, Gillian Howell, Alexis Kallio, John Sloboda, and Naomi Sunderland. What makes the research symposium even more attractive are the 3 keynote speakers we could welcome in the program. Naomi Sunderland, Giogi Ravullo, and Te Oti Rakena, will help us come to a better understanding of participatory music programs developed in Oceania. My very special thanks go to the president of SIMM, Brydie-Leigh Bartleet. Without Brydie, we would not be where we are now out here. If you did not do so already, please go listen to one of the last podcasts, the last episodes of the podcast, the SIMM podcast, and hear our interviews with Brydie and with Barbara Hesser about the compendium Music as a Global Resource, which they co-edited. I wish myself and all of you out there 3 wonderfully interesting and inspiring days, and look forward to be spending this time with you.
Thank you, Lukas. And Lukas is online with us now, so he would have seen himself. So thank you to all our leaders for warming up this space and making us all feel so welcome. Colleagues and friends, it's a vital time for our field right now. As our lives become increasingly shaped by war and conflict, escalating geopolitical and economic uncertainty, widening social and health inequities, and accelerating climate change, the work of socially engaged musicians is more important than ever. I hope that you find the next 3 days enriching, inspiring, thought-provoking for your critical work in this space. We hope that you enjoy our warm hospitality, even if you are online, and we hope that you feel the collegiality of the community that defines SIMM, and enjoy the interactive space that we together create for robust dialogue that isn't afraid to be critical, bold, courageous, and generous. We're delighted to be welcoming what's now 130 delegates from 24 different countries, and sharing an epic program with 3 incredible keynotes, 26 in-person presentations, 16 online presentations, lunchtime performances, and a huge collective effort with discussions being led by 16 different chairs and 16 online facilitators and 3 wonderful keynote respondents. There are many, many people to thank, but I'm mindful that we need to move into our next session, so I'm going to be doing a big thank you in the final session of the program. Now that SIMM is officially open, we're going to move into our opening keynote, perfectly on time. But before we do, I just want to encourage you to just take a brief moment to turn to the people around you if you're in the room, and if you're online, turn to the chat and just say hi. A brief connection and welcome.